Okay, someone saying Euro JPY. Oh, Euro JPY. I don't trade Euro JPY. No problem. So we are going to start our pre-market analysis on Euro JPY. So Cool Jeff is saying Euro JPY. So I don't trade Euro JPY, so I have to add it. Um, yeah, so Euro JPY. Yeah. So the Euro and then the Japanese yen. Euro JPY. So which one? FX. There we go. Yeah. So this is Euro JPY requested by Cool Jeff. So Cool Jeff, if you are here, follow as I analyze Euro JPY from the monthly time frame. So we are starting our analysis from the monthly time frame. Now, Cool Jeff, to trade Euro JPY next week, for me, I don't trade it, so I have to start from the higher time frame. So now we are starting from the monthly time frame. The question that we need to ask ourselves, Cool Jeff, how is the monthly explaining what? Euro JPY. In other words, you can also ask yourself who are in control from the monthly perspective, or you can also say that what is the direction of Euro JPY from the monthly what perspective. All these questions has what? The same answer. So now before we can answer this question, we need to first zoom in. And why are we zooming in? When we zoom in, we can see the bigger picture of the market, and then we can give better description to the chart as far as what the monthly what time frame is concerned. Now, after zooming in on Euro JPY, so Cool Jeff, I can confidently what describe Euro JPY as what? As uptrend market. Now, Cool Jeff, after knowing the direction, which is the uptrend, the question that you need to further ask yourself again is that how can I confirm a trend which it is what is in an up, or how can I confirm a trend that is heading towards to the upside? Now, before you can confirm a trend which is what heading towards to the upside, every what turning point in that what trend. Now, Cool Jeff, if you have not been joining my live, when I say turning point, now turning point as far as what technical analysis is concerned, as far as what technical analyst is concerned, we have so many terminologies to describe turning point in the market. Some people are saying that turning points can be high. Some people are saying that turning points can be low. Some people are saying that turning point can be support. Some people are also saying that turning point can be resistance. Now, some people are saying that turning points can be high psychological level. Some people are saying that turning point can be low psychological level, and so on and so forth. Cool Jeff, before you can now then add yours to it, you need to understand what is there. Now, let's stick to the simple one, or let's select one of the terminology so that we will flow with this terminology. So we are going to stick to what? Support and resistance to describe our turning point in the market. Now, to confirm that this trend will continue heading towards to the upside, every support, every resistance must form above each other or on the same level. That is the criteria that will help us to know that this trend is what? Is an uptrend. Let me switch a little bit and use what? Arrows to demonstrate what I'm trying to mean. Now, if we are starting from this what? Support here as a turning point or as a point, this support, we know that the market doesn't move straight, or the market doesn't move in a straight like that. So at a point in time on the process of which the market heading towards to the upside, the market will turn. Now, for the process for the market to turn to form the next support, we have so many terminology for that. Some people are saying retracement, some people are saying pullback, some people are saying what? Retest. Now let's stick to what? One terminology. Let's say pullback. So along the line, we are going to use pullback, support, and resistance as the terminology that we are going to stick to as far as what this life is concerned. Now, when this resistance, if price will continue, this resistance must form its support. We say that if price will continue the uptrend, every support and resistance must form above each other on the same level. Now, for the next support to form, let's say it form here. Price can decide to form here, or the market can decide to form here, there, da. So far as it's above this support, it's above. or on the same level. Let's say the market decided to form the next support above this support on this level. If price formed this support, you ask yourself, what is the duty of this support? The duty of this support is to continue the uptrend. Now you ask yourself again, how can this support continue the uptrend? It can only continue the uptrend when it managed to break this resistance. So we are expecting this support to break this resistance. Now the moment this support break this resistance, we are now in what? In still an uptrend. Now this support must also form it what? Resistance. Price also formed that resistance. There was a pullback which formed the next support above this. Price continue like that in that order. So now we can see that me using what? Arrows to represent what? The market in an uptrend. We can see that the first resistance here, the next resistance is above, the next resistance above. That should tell us that price is what? Is in an uptrend. The next support is above, the next support is above. That should tell us that price is what? Is in an uptrend. Now, after knowing all this what? Movement of price, let's go back to the chart. Now, to go back to the chart, as far as what? Euro USD, Euro JPY is concerned from the monthly time frame, how is price what? Current behaving? Price is what? Is in a strong uptrend. Now we said that how can we confirm the uptrend? Every turning point must form above what? Each other. Now to analyze the market, we first have to locate every support within the trend. Now, where is our first what? Support. Let's say we are starting our analysis from this support. That means that this will be our first support. Then you ask yourself again, do we have another support in this what? Uptrend? Yes, we do have. Now, where is the next support? Here is the next support. Now, do we have another support within the trend? Yes, we have. Where is the support? Here is the support. Now, do we have another support within the trend? No. That means that this is our last support within the trend. Okay. Then after knowing all the support, what is the next? The next is to focus on the resistance that was formed because of what? The previous located support. Let's start. Now, this first support, where is the resistance that was formed because of this support? Is this resistance? How did I what? Able to know. Now, this support here formed this resistance here. What happens? This resistance also pulled back to form it what? Support. And that support was what? Was the next support that we were able to what? To see in the market. Now, what is the duty of this support? We said that when I was using arrows to demonstrate, we said that the duty of this support is to continue the uptrend. How can this support continue? It can only continue the uptrend when it breaks this resistance. Now, this support was able to break this resistance to form what? The next resistance. This brings us to what? To the next resistance in the market. And that resistance was formed because of what? The second support here. Now, this is the resistance here. So, this support breaking this resistance, there was an impulse move of which price from the next resistance above what? This resistance. What happens again? Now, this resistance was able to form its support to confirm the trend as uptrend. How? It was able to form its support above the previous support. What happens? This support, we know if price formed this support, the duty of this support is to continue. Now, after this support, after this resistance, do we have any support in them? Do we have any resistance in the market again? No. If we have no resistance in the market again, apart from this resistance, that's what brings us to what? The current situation or the current behavior of price. Now, the current behavior of price is what? It's in a continuation. Why? Because this support has now managed to break the previous what? Monthly resistance. Now, we are expecting this support to also form its resistance above this resistance to continue the cycle. Now, as technical analysts, our duty is to now then anticipate where price is likely to use this support to form its what? Resistance. Now, within this uptrend, we have where we started, we have this support forming this resistance, price pull back, this support form its resistance, price pull back. This support is now in a continuation to form its resistance. We don't know. So how many pullback do we have in this what? Uptrend as to where we started? We have only two pullback. We have this as first pullback, this as second pullback. We are waiting for the next pullback, which will form the next resistance in the market. So with this, in the monthly time frame, we have here as the last monthly support, which has been able to break the last what? Monthly previous resistance. So we have what? Also the last previous resistance. but we don't have what? The resistance that has formed because of what? This support. Now, if you don't have this resistance that has formed because of this support, and our duty is to now then predict where and when price is going to form the next resistance, we need to understand how price was able to use this support to break that previous resistance. So if you are like me, I will delay the previous resistance, then I will make what? I will allow the market to have a free space so that when I scale it to the lower time frame, I can see how price used this support to break that previous resistance. Then if I see how price used this support to break that previous resistance, that is when I can, based on that what understanding, to anticipate whether price will see any sell pressure around where price is at now to drop, or price will not be able to see sell pressure. Now, if price will what? See sell pressure, it will pull back as a result of what? The previous trend, which is what? Uptrend. Now, this current movement of price, how is it what? Explaining itself in other time frame, which is lower than what? Monthly. Now, to move on to that other time frame, we first have to understand the monthly itself as far as what? Candlestick is concerned. Now, price, after pulling back here, how did price initiated the continuation? It was this monthly what? Bullish engulfing. So there was this monthly bullish engulfing which initiated or which ended the pullback. Then after bullish engulfing, what happens? We saw what? Monthly what? Indecision candlestick, followed by monthly bullish indecision, monthly strong bullish candlestick, monthly bullish candlestick. And when monthly pulled back to the previous resistance, we saw what? Bearish indecision. The bearish indecision tells us that in a time frame which is lower than monthly, there was a minor pullback or there was a rejection from that resistance for price to gather more momentum. We will find out as we move on to what? The lower time frame. After the bearish indecision candlestick, we have the bullish candlestick, we have a bullish candlestick and also bullish candlestick. Now, monthly is higher than weekly. Now, a candle in monthly, when we go to weekly to understand how that candle was formed in monthly, we will see it as what? 5, not in weekly. That means that all this bullish engulfing followed by bearish and bullish and bullish and bullish. Then weekly will explain how every candlestick formed in the what? Monthly. That means that when we go to weekly, we will see different price action. Let's go and understand how weekly is explaining this movement. That is when we can anticipate whether price will see sell pressure here as a minor pullback or price will continue what? Moving to the upside. Let's move on to weekly. Now here we are in the weekly time frame. How is weekly explaining what? Price movement in the monthly. So weekly is telling us that for price in monthly to break this monthly resistance here, it was initiated in weekly in the form of what? Double bottom. Price dropped significantly to this support. There was a rejection. Price pulled back to that same level again, failed to continue by dropping, but rather the buyers hold price and then move price against the sellers. That caused price to break that previous what? Monthly resistance using this what? Double bottom. Now price, after forming this double bottom, I've seen that price has moved strongly like that. So I define this as what? As impulse move. Why? When price pulled back here, there was a first rejection here. Then after this rejection, price has just moved impulsively. How do I define my impulse movement? I define my impulse movement when I see price, for example, this uptrend, when I see price giving me what? More green candlestick than red candlestick. The red is not what? More than what? 2. The highest is what? Is 2. So that should tell me that the buyers are stronger than what? The sellers. So I define it as what? Impulse move. It doesn't mean that you should also define it as what? Impulse move. You can also have a way to define it. So price in weekly, after forming this support, it moved impulsively back to this resistance. There was a drop and then prices continue. So weekly is not giving us what? The vivid explanation as to how monthly managed to break this what? Monthly previous resistance. The only thing that we can see from the weekly time frame is that the buyers are stronger than the sellers. Let's go to other time frame which is lower than weekly. Maybe we can see the vivid explanation as to how monthly was able to break the previous monthly resistance. Let's move on to daily. Now here we are in the daily time frame. How is daily explaining the movement? Now we can all see here that daily is giving us what? The vivid explanation. That means that daily is what? Is the best time for us to what? To analyze, to understand how monthly managed to break its previous resistance. How is daily explaining that? Daily is telling us that monthly is heading towards to the upside, but the sellers are there, but the buyers are more than the sellers, which brings us to what? The movement of price, of which price is not moving in a straight line as we saw in monthly and weekly, but rather every impulse move, price correct. How is daily explaining that? Let's find out. So we saw the initiator from this continuation in the weekly time frame in the form of what? Double bottom. How are we seeing it in daily? Now, there was a first rejection here in daily. Price pulled back to that same level, there was a rejection. Price pulled back here again, there was a rejection. Price also pulled back here for the last time, there was also rejection. So in daily, price rejected what? The sellers more 4 times on a row at the same level. But in weekly, we saw it as what? Double bottom. So after the 4th time, then the buyers gathered more momentum to break the previous weekly resistance for price to continue. So how did the daily what buyers did that? So now after this what last support here, price move, then price corrected. So we have here as what? As the first daily support, which is what? Explaining how monthly managed to break this monthly resistance. Do we have another daily support again? Yes, we do have here. Do you have another daily support again? Yes. After this support, price moved impulsively. The next support was what? Was also above this support here. Now, do we have another support again? Yes, we have here as the support. Do we have another support again? Yes. We have here as what? As the last support within the trend. Now, after knowing all the support, what is the next? The next is to focus on the resistance that was formed because of the support. The first support here, which formed this resistance. Now, it tells me that this support formed this resistance. What happens? Price pull back as expected, forming the next resistance, the next support above the previous support. Now, when price formed this support above the previous support, this support was able to perform its duty. What is the duty of this support? Is to continue the trend. How can this support continue the trend? It can only continue the trend when it managed to break the previous support. Price did so by breaking this one support with an impulse move. So there was a break of this daily support. Also weekly one. There was a break of this daily resistance. Also weekly resistance. So this support broke this resistance and this resistance with an impulse move, and then price corrected. Now after this support breaking this resistance, this brings us to the next resistance that was formed because of this support. So now that resistance is what? Is this resistance here. Now this resistance was able to pull back to do what? To confirm the trend by forming the next support above the previous support, which is this support. So this support is above this previous support. What happens? The duty of this support is to break this resistance. Price did so by breaking this resistance. There was a pullback forming the next support above this support. So this is the resistance which was formed because of this resistance. So now this brings us to the next resistance, which is this resistance. Now after that, the next support was able to confirm the trend. How? By breaking the previous resistance to form the next resistance above the previous resistance. Now what happens? There was a pullback to what? To the previous resistance, turning it at what? As support. So now after this support here, price has managed to break this resistance. So now, do we have another resistance within this trend? No. So now in monthly, we saw that price is in a continuation. In weekly, we also saw that price what is in a continuation, but price is not giving us what? The vivid explanation to monthly. We move on to daily. Daily is explaining that price is what? Is in an uptrend, giving us what? The vivid explanation. But daily is what? Is also in a continuation itself. So where I started to where price is at now, daily, only daily what? Market or only daily behavior is around this area. Why? Because here is where we have the last daily support and last daily resistance. If price pull back to continue, this movement that we have highlighted will be among the previous what movement that daily has what presented itself to represent what price movement in the monthly. So now if we are going to focus on daily, it will be this area. So this whole highlighted area is how daily is giving us what? The vivid explanation as to how monthly managed to break what? The previous resistance. Now with this explanation, let's find out. So we have this support forming this resistance. There was a pullback. Impulse move to break this resistance. There was a pullback again. Impulse move again. There was a pullback. And then impulse move again. This was the last pullback of which price formed this last support and this last resistance. Price has managed to break this what? Previous resistance. If price has managed to break this previous resistance, price must come for what? Pullback. Why? Because price will never move straight like that. At a point in time, there will be what? A pullback. So now, since we are anticipating the pullback to monthly, we have to first anticipate the pullback in daily. If daily give us signal that price will pull back, then we will see it as what? In the monthly time frame. Now, as to when daily is what? About to pull back, or as to when daily is likely to pull back, we don't know. Our duty is to also anticipate when and where daily is likely to pull back. So now we are going to focus on daily alone. To focus on daily alone, we are now then going to zoom out. So to zoom out and then to focus on the last daily support and the last daily resistance. So Good Jeff, if you are still here, this is our last daily support. So this is our last daily support, which managed to do what? To break the previous daily resistance, which is this resistance here. If price has managed to break this resistance, we are expecting what? The next pullback for price to continue the cycle. As to when and where price is going to pull back, we don't know. So I will delete this resistance and then I will focus on the lower time frame, like 4 hour, to see how this daily support here was able to break this daily resistance. If I understand how price used this trend to break this resistance, that is when I can use my understanding to anticipate where and when price is likely to pull back for price to continue the uptrend. So now, to move on to 4 hour, let's first understand from the daily perspective. Daily is telling us that for price to break this resistance here, price use what? Uptrend, because at a point in time, the sellers also show their what? Their presence. So when price in daily use this bullish engulfing close with this what? Pullback, price moved impulsively, failed to break this resistance, there was a correction, also failed to break this support, and the buyers gathered more momentum here to break. Now, since daily has initiated this continuation with uptrend, that means that when we go to 4 hour, we will see complex movement. Let's understand how price is explaining this movement of price in daily in 4 hour. That is when we can anticipate the next pullback for price to continue. Let's move on to 4 hour. So this is 4 hour time frame. As I said earlier on, when daily has started initiated the movement in the form of uptrend, we'll see complex movement of price. So now this is the daily inner support that was able to break this daily resistance, also its resistance to continue. How is 4 hour explaining that? Let's find out. 4 hour is telling us that for daily to break that previous resistance here in daily, even 4 hour initiated in the form of what? Head and shoulder inverse. But in daily, we saw it as what? As bullish engulfing. In 4 hour, we are seeing it as what? Head and shoulder inverse. So head and shoulder, price now then move in the form of uptrend. We have a pullback in 4 hour time frame, of which we don't see in daily. Price continue as impulse move. Price pull back, price continue, fail to continue the uptrend, and then price pull back significantly, respecting this support here, which brings us to what? The inner daily support. For this inner daily support to break this resistance here, price move in the form of what? Also uptrend. So in 4 hour, we have 4 hour inner resistance, 4 hour inner support, 4 hour continuation, 4 hour. This is the last 4 hour inner support, which has managed to break its 4 hours resistance, also daily resistance. So we have a break, price must pull back. Price has started a pullback. The question is, will this pullback completely see sell pressure to retest this resistance before we continue? Now, with this, we need to also what? Understand 4 hour in other time frame. So in 4 hour time frame, we have here as what? As the last 4 hour what? Support, which has now then managed to break the 4 hour last resistance, also daily resistance. We have also here as 4 hour last resistance. So now in 4 hour time frame, we are ranging between this 4 hour support and 4 hour resistance. So we are expecting 4 hour to pull back for daily to pull back. As to when and where 4 hour is going to pull back for daily to pull back, we don't know. But the only thing that we can see here is that this support has also formed its resistance. Price has started a pullback in 4 hour. The question is simple. Will this 4 hour pullback drop significantly for daily to pull back? We are what? Waiting to see that. If 4 hour sees sell buy pressure here and try to move, the next question that we need to ask ourselves is that, will 4 hour be able to break this resistance? If yes, that means that daily has not what? Started the pullback. price is still in a continuation phase. Let's find out what is happening between 4-hour resistance and 4-hour support before we can anticipate what 4-hour pullback. So let's consult 1 hour to see how this 4-hour support here was able to break this resistance. If we do understand this movement in 1 hour, that is when we can anticipate what 4-hour pullback for daily to pullback. Let's go to 1 hour as the last time frame that we are going to end our analysis. Now, in 1 hour time frame, how is 1 hour explaining what price movement in 4 hour? 1 hour is telling us that for 4 hour to break its previous what resistance, also daily, 1 hour move in the form of what uptrend, of which we don't see that in what in 4 hour. We see it as what as noisy data. This is the daily what resistance, and this is 4-hour resistance. 1 hour after breaking this daily resistance, 1 hour itself has not pulled back to it. As to when and where 1 hour is going to pull back, we don't know. So how did 1 hour move? So price pull back to this 4-hour resistance. There was a 1 hour minor rejection. 1 hour managed to break this 4-hour resistance. 1 hour pull back to it. 1 hour completely pull back to daily resistance. There was a rejection. 1 hour broke this daily resistance impulsively. Price had corrected. Move again. Price has corrected. Move again. Price has corrected. Move again. Price has corrected. So this is how price is moving. Now let's use logic here. As comparing how price started its movement as to now where price is at right now, we can see that the sellers are now showing their presence. That should tell us that we will likely see what pullback, but the pullback has not confirmed yet. Why? Because the last support price has not been able to break it. So we have here, I'm expecting price to break this support. If price does break that support, that should tell me that 4-hour or what will come for what pullback what anytime soon. Now, when price moves to this resistance here, I've seen what double top here, and then this double top has managed to what to drop price completely back to this support. Now, if price will continue pulling back, I'm expecting price not to break this resistance. So price has pulled back here. I'm expecting the next one drop here. If price does pull back again and fail to break this resistance here, I'll be looking for what sell opportunity back to this one support. This is just what 1 hour what quick entry as to how 4 hour is going to pull back. If 1 hour failed to form the next resistance below this resistance, don't try to sell. And then it's up to your decision to decide whether you do a trade pullback or you will not trade pullback. So if 1 hour move or if 1 hour form the next two resistance below this resistance, it should tell me that 4 hour is likely to pull back for daily to pull back. We can see here that 1 hour has not pulled back to this daily resistance. That means that there must be a pullback to this one resistance before price will continue. But as to when and where, we don't know. So now the question is that price has formed this last resistance of which price has not been able to break it. That means that if price will continue seeing sell pressure as a pullback, we are not expecting price to break this last resistance. Now the next resistance is going to form, but we don't know when and where it's going to form. So if price will form the next resistance, I'm expecting price to resist from this level. If price show what a resistance from this level by dropping price here, I'll wait for the next resistance around this level, and then the last resistance I'll wait for price to break, come back again, and this is where I'll be looking for my sell opportunity back to this what support. Why? Because within this 4 hour, within this 1 hour uptrend, this support here form this resistance, price pull back, price form this resistance, price pull back, price form this resistance, price pull back, price form this what double top here, of which we don't have what the last resistance above this. This is the only resistance. Price drop below. Price has respected this resistance for the first time. It has rejected. It doesn't mean that we should sell. We have to wait for price to drop and respect this resistance. Let me show arrow. So I'm expecting price to respect this resistance and then also resistance here, this last resistance. If price respect these two resistance as resistance, I'll be looking for my sell opportunity back to this support. That will give me what? More profit. So how price is going to behave around this level, I'm not interested. The only level that I'll be interested for what? Selling opportunity is when price respect this resistance here and resistance here. Then it will also what? Tells me that we have what? Double top. After that, price has moved impulsively, corrected, move again, corrected, move again. And the last resistance That I call it what? Double top with what? 1, 2, 3 pattern. I'll be looking for my sell opportunity to complete this support. So double top here, which is serving as the last resistance, is the first confirmation that price is likely to what? To pull back. Now the question is simple. Am I going to base on this first confirmation? Hell no. I'm waiting for other confirmations. And the other confirmation that if price will give me what? Sell opportunity as pullback, this is how I'm expecting price. I'm expecting price to reject from this level, drop below here, pull back again, respect this resistance, drop below again, pull back again. Then I'll be looking for sell opportunity here to drop price. Now with this, I'm done with Euro JPY. Cool Jeff, if you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board for us to discuss before I move on to the next pair of your choice. So if I'm looking for sell opportunity as pullback, this is where I'll be looking for my sell opportunity, and I'll be risking here. Then my final take profit will be this one, support, giving me what? 1:5. But as to how price is going to behave above this support here, I'm not interested. Why? Because if you sell around this level, we have this support here of which price can see buy pressure, break below, come back, and then we'll continue. Bear in mind that monthly is the continuation, daily is the continuation, weekly is the continuation, 4 hours in the continuation. We are now then anticipating when all this time frame is likely to pull back. They have not initiated. Now 1 hour is likely to initiate this what? Movement of price as pullback in 4 hour, daily and weekly, and then monthly. Let's find out if 1 hour will be able to what? Initiate this pullback. If it will be able to initiate pullback, I'll be looking for selling around this level. Here, I'm not interested. Here, I'm not interested. Here, I'll be interested. Now with this, I'm done with Euro USD. If you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board for us to talk about before I move on to the next pair. I was concentrating on the bias after the pullback. Okay, so if you are concentrating on the bias after the pullback, cool Jeff, wait patiently. Why? Because we have 1 hour what? Double top here against this what? Movement. And then cool Jeff, understand how price in 1 hour what? Broke this one? 1 hour, 4 hour resistance and also daily resistance. So cool Jeff, let's what? Use logic here. We have more bias. Sellers what? Not enough. More bias. Sellers not enough. More bias. Sellers not enough. We can see the strong impulse move here telling us that around this level there was what? Bias. Now after that we can see that there is equal bias, equal sellers, equal bias. This last support here, we have seen what? Double top here. Price has managed to break this what? Support. So now price has managed to break this support. When price broke this support, it has pulled back to where all this channel what? Started. So this is the one. This is the diagram. So we have an impulse move. Price started to correct it like this. So Kujev, this is how price started to correct it. Now price has formed this double top here. Price has dropped back to this support. So if price will continue what? If you are looking for buy opportunity, Kujev, you have to wait patiently for price to now then use this support here as support. Not here. Because price, if you look for buy opportunity, we have this resistance. That price is what? Trading below. And that resistance is this resistance. Price is trading below. So if price see more sell pressure, we are going to resist from that resistance, then drop again, and then continue in that order for 4 hours to pull back before we move. So Jeff, let's wait patiently because this one patterns here telling me that price is likely to what? To pull back. But as to when, we don't know. So now we have the first confluence as double top. We have the second confluence that price is trading below the neckline. So price is trading below the neckline. Also this resistance. And then price has pulled back to it. So if price will continue what? Giving us pullback, we're expecting price to drop again, come back, drop again, come back. We'll look for sell opportunity. If price will not give us buy sell opportunity, Jeff, we are waiting for price to now then break this last resistance. Price must break it, come back for pullback. Jeff, that is when we'll be looking for buy opportunity. It will be safer for you to wait for price to present itself like this. And then when we are going to look for our opportunity for buy is around this level when price presents itself like this, telling us that this last resistance here is not resistance that is strong, but rather price has managed to break. If you don't wait for this setup by buying from this level here, bear in mind we have this resistance, that price can reject from that level and come and hit you before you move to your direction. So Jeff, I hope this time around I have tried my best to explain the chart. So now if you have any other question, you can also bring it on board for us to talk about it. Your buy opportunity is what is good because the market is what is in an uptrend. But as to when that you are going to get into buy can be what can fail you. So if you are going to look for buy opportunity again, we are expecting price to do what? To break above this support. Not just break above this support. After breaking above this support, also this resistance, price must also break this last resistance. That is when we'll be looking for what? Buy opportunity. Now, price can also present itself like this. For example, price can see buy pressure, push back to this level, drop again here, don't buy, wait patiently for price to break, come back, then we can look for our buy opportunity. So price can also present itself like this for us to look for buy opportunity around this level, telling us that now we have a new resistance above this whole resistance. Then we can look for our buy opportunity. If not, we will be looking for our sell opportunity when price use this last resistance here, last resistance here as resistance. Then we'll be looking for our sell opportunity to its support. Its support is this support. That will give us what? More profit. Yeah. So with this, I'm done with Euro JPY. If you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board for us to discuss before I move on to the next pair. So it's either price is using this double top here, push back here, drop below here, come back, last, and then we look for sell opportunity. So back here, so it's either price present itself like this or there before we move on. So it's either buy or sell. The question is simple. How price is going to present itself for me to buy? How price is going to present itself for me to sell? I don't know. That is why I'm following price to see how price or to see the possibilities that price can present itself for me to buy or sell. So I'm saying, can you look at volatility 775 1x? I'm saying, in case the buy setup comes on, what do you think should be the TP? Okay, so now in case the buy setup present itself, Jeff will be looking for what? 1:3. So look for 1:3 if buy present itself. Why? Because the bias in weekly and daily has moved strongly. There must be a pullback, but we don't know. So bear in mind that there is this broken what? Resistance here in higher time frame. So price must pull back to it. So we know that price can never continue straight like that. So now if bias present itself, we'll be looking for 1:3 along the line until when price will decide to pull back. We don't know when price will pull back. That is when we must stick to 1:3. Because price has initiated the continuation already. So the continuation started even in daily around this support. Daily continuation, 4-hour continuation also started around this level. And then weekly continuation and the monthly continuation started from this level. So we can see how price has initiated the continuation already. So we are just what? And then continuation has managed to break the previous resistance. So we are just what? Trying to profit small as to when price will decide to pull back. We don't know when. That is why when we see any buy setup, we must what? Stick to what? 1:3, than 1:10 and 1:5. So Jeff, I hope your question is being answered. Yeah, so if you have any question concerning Euro JPY, you can bring it on board before I move on to volatility 71x. Or maybe volatility 1x. So what is the name? So Damien, I think you and Druza trade synthetics. So most traders here trade forex. So Damien, I will analyze your volatility 71s as the last pair before I end my live. So let's focus on the forex pairs. Then when I'm about to end my live, I will analyze 75x. Then we call it what? The end of our evening show. Because I don't want to switch along the line. So your volatility 71x will be the last pair for the day. So remind me about that. Okay. Okay, someone saying let's move on to gold. So now the next pair After Euro USD is gold. So we are going to continue our analysis on gold. So this is gold. So we are going to start our analysis from the weekly time frame because I trade gold. Why are we starting our analysis from the weekly? We just ended what? A week. So as far as the market or the forex is concerned, we trade using what? 5 days. So therefore, if we end Friday, we have ended trading week. But in general, we have not completed the week. So now, as far as what the forex market is concerned, we have ended a week. That means that we need to understand how we ended the week, and then when we understand that week, we can add up to the previous week, and then we can analyze what the market to predict the next movement of price in the what subsequent what weeks. Now, how did we ended what last week? Now, or this week, we ended this week with what? With a bullish market, which is this one candlestick here. So if we ended this week with a bullish market, what at all is this bullish market trying to tell us? Now, after knowing the candlestick or the market for this week, let's find out the subsequent what weeks. Now, to understand the subsequent weeks, we all can what vividly what describe gold from the weekly time frame as what? As uptrend. So this is how gold is moving from the weekly time frame. How is this gold moving? It is moving in an uptrend, giving further explanation as to how monthly is moving. When we switch on to monthly time frame, we will never see this clear price action. That should tell us that the weekly is lower than the monthly. Now, how is the what monthly the weekly uptrend moving? Let's find out. To find out, we are going to start by looking at the support within that uptrend. To start from anywhere, we are going to start from this support. This is the first support as to where we started, our first weekly support. Do we have another support again? Yes, we do have. There's a support. Do we have another support again? Yes, we do have. There's a support. Do you have another support again? No. Someone said about this a support. It has not formed yet. Why? Because we are in a downtrend as a pullback. It doesn't mean that if you are in a downtrend, price is going to present only what? Bearish candlestick. No. There can be more bearish, one bullish, more bearish, one bullish. So we'll get there. Don't worry. Now, this is the last support within the what? The uptrend. Now, after that, we look on what? On the resistance that was formed because of what? The support. Now, to start from where we started, this support, where is the resistance that was formed because of this support here? Now, it tells me that this support here formed this resistance. What happens? Price pull back as expected by forming the next support above this support. And then what happens? This support was able to confirm the trend. How? It was able to confirm the trend by breaking this resistance to form the next resistance above this resistance. This brings us to the next resistance that will form because of this support. So this second support, the resistance that was formed is this resistance. Now, this is the movement of price. So we have this support here forming this resistance, price pullback. This support confirm it by breaking this resistance, forming the next resistance above this resistance. This resistance was able to confirm the trend by forming the next support also above this support. Now this support also was able to confirm its duty. How? By breaking this resistance to form the next resistance above this resistance. Now this brings us to the next resistance, which is the last resistance that was formed because of the last support. And where is that resistance? This is that resistance. Now this is how price in weekly explaining what? Monthly movement. We have a support here forming this resistance, price pull back as expected. This support confirmed the trend by forming the next resistance above the price pullback. This support confirmed the trend by breaking this resistance from the next resistance above this support resistance. Price has initiated the pullback. The question is simple. When and where price is going to end this pullback, we don't know. So now, with the help of this what? Pullback and then this weak candlestick, we can now then what? Predict whether price will see more buy pressure here for the cycle to continue. Now with this saying, to focus on the weekly alone, we have here as the last weekly support, as we said already. And then we have here as what? As the last weekly resistance. So now we are trading between this weekly resistance and then this weekly support. Now, what is the current behavior of price? Price is pulling back. How? Now, price initiated the pullback with what? With this bearish candlestick, not just what? Bearish engulfing, but rather is bearish what? Candlestick. So after this bearish candlestick, we saw the next candlestick was also bearish candlestick, and then the next candlestick before the what? The bullish candlestick was what? Bearish indecision. So bearish indecision followed by what? This bullish candlestick tells me that there is higher probability that price will go back to where it started. And when price pull back to this level, then we ask ourselves, will price break or price will not be able to break? Now, to then confirm our anticipation, whether price will see buy pressure here to pull back to this resistance here in weekly, we need to further understand how this pullback explains itself in other time frame, and after that, how this what bearish indecision and the last week candlestick explain itself. That is when we can confirm our prediction that the buyers will continuously push price back to this resistance, and when they do so, then we ask ourselves, are they going to break or will see sell pressure again to drop price? Let's find out from the other time frame. So now we are going to the other time frame like daily 4 hour to understand what is happening here. That is when we can confirm our anticipation that the buyers will come in to push price or the sellers will come in to push price down. So let's go to daily first. So here is daily time frame. Now before we focus around this area, how is daily what? Explaining price movement and weekly resistance and weekly support. Daily is telling us that starting from this support here is an uptrend, but starting from this support here, price moved impulsively. There was a correction. This correction is not enough, telling us that the sellers are not what? Enough to push price. Now this support was able to confirm the trend by breaking this resistance to move impulsively. Now every red candlestick that you see between this movement of price is a pullback in the lower time frame. It's not a pullback in daily. Why? Because if daily is an uptrend, or if any time frame is an uptrend, it doesn't mean that price must always what? Move in the form of what? Green candlestick. It can be more green, one red. It can also be more green, 2 or more red, or it can be green alone without red. Now we are seeing what? More green, one red, more green, one red, telling us that there is something that is happening in a lower time frame. But in daily, price move impulsively like that. This is the first time price has pulled back significantly. So now this significant pullback, if you compare the pullback, let's start it from here. We can see this pullback here that the sellers were not enough here, but we can see this pullback in daily that there is what? Enough sellers. Now the question is simple. What at all is this enough sellers trying to tell us? Now how did this pullback initiated from the daily? We can see here that daily initiated the pullback with what? With a strong bearish daily what? Candlestick, which engulfs so many what? Daily candlestick. After that, daily continuously seeing sell pressure to move to this level, and we have seen that buyers coming in. Question is simple. We did the anticipation from the weekly time frame that the buyers are likely to push price to this level. Now in daily, how is daily also explaining that movement? Are we going to see more buy pressure and we are going to see more sell pressure to drop? Now to finally what? Confirm our anticipation. Now in weekly, we saw last week as what? As bullish candlestick. The last week bullish candlestick, this is what? Price movement of price. Or this is the price movement in daily. So daily, for the week to end, we have here as the last one support, which has also formed its resistance here. Now the question is simple. Are we going to pull back in the form of a trend, or we are going to see what? More sell pressure to drop, or more buy pressure to push back to this what? Weekly resistance. Now to confirm our anticipation, let's find out how price is behaving around this area in a 4 hour. Daily is not giving us what? The vivid explanation. The only thing that daily is telling us that there is this what? Bearish engulf, on which what? Initiated this pullback. Price has also moved like this. Bear in mind, price has not been able to break this resistance. It's the last resistance within this trend. That should tell us that the sellers can what? Come in with what? With their presence and then drop price. But before price what? Turn here, how did price turn? In daily time frame, we can see here that price just turned with what? Bearish what? Candlestick. It's not what? Engulfing. How is this what? Candlestick what? Explaining itself in 4 hour. Let's move on to 4 hour. Now here we are in the 4 hour. How is 4 hour explaining every movement of price? Now 4 hour is telling us that the bearish engulfing that we saw in the daily time frame is what? Is double top. After that, price moves significantly, form double top again. After that, price moves significantly. Now if you have been joining my life, I said that price was just pulling back. Now price pull back as expected, but the buyers was enough than the sellers. So when they pull back to this last resistance in 4 hours, there was a minor pullback and price break. Bear in mind, after price breaking this last resistance here in 4 hours, price has also break below. Price is trading what? Below. And not just trading below, but rather how price managed to break this last resistance here. Price has managed to break the last support within that trend. And where is that last support? It's here. I'm going to use arrow. This is the last support that price used to break this last resistance, and then price to pull back to that the support here. Price has also seen sell pressure to break below this last resistance in 4 hours. Also break below the last support that broke that last resistance. That should tell us that the sellers is likely to drop price, but we are not confirmed yet. So now our anticipation right now, if the sellers will come in strongly, I'm expecting price first to push back to this resistance and respect it as now resistance to form what? Head and shoulder, to drop price back to where it started. If price behaves as such, that means that we are going to see sell pressure back to this support. Why? Because this double top here formed this support here. Price was pulling back. How? In the form of uptrend. This uptrend was so strong enough that they were able to break this resistance. After that, price has break below. If price pull back to this resistance here, now respecting it as resistance to form a pattern, that means that we will look for more sell pressure back to this support. Question is simple. Are we going to see more sell pressure, or we are going to see buy pressure? Now, if price doesn't behave as such, this is how price can behave as what? As sell what? Opportunity. Price can see more sell pressure here, drop to this level, minor pullback. I will not be interested in what? Selling. I will only be interested in selling when again price now then retest this broken support here. If price retests this broken support here as support, then I'll be interested in selling. And if I sell, I'll take my profit here. Now, another way that price can present itself is that price will pull back. It will not respect this broken support, but rather it will pull back below that broken support and turn. I will not sell. I will wait for price to confirm that turning point as what? A strong resistance. How? By price pulling back to that level again. When price failed to break it, I'll be looking for what? Sell opportunity back to this one support. Another way that price can present itself for me to look for what? Sell opportunity is that price will see more sell pressure, drop to this level, push, drop again, come back, give me the third touch. I'll be looking for more sell back to this support. And the last one is that price will see buy pressure, pull back. Price will see buy pressure, pull back to this level, resistance here, fail to break it. I'll be looking for my sell opportunity. Also forming what? Pattern as what? Head and shoulder. If price doesn't present itself like all these possibilities, but rather see buy pressure, break above this resistance again, I'll be looking for buy opportunity. When price pull back, then I'll buy back. So now, if price doesn't present all this opportunity or possibilities, but rather break above this resistance again, then I'll be looking for what? Buy opportunity around this level. Then I'll complete what? Weekly resistance. So it's either price is breaking above this resistance again, or price will still continuously what? Trading below this resistance. How price is going to what? Present itself, we don't know. So now our anticipation or our confluence is that for us to look for sell opportunity is that price is trading below this last resistance here, which is this one. Price is trading below this resistance. Also, price has managed to break the last support that broke that resistance. If price will give us what? Sell opportunity. Now, there comes with what? With your rule. And my rule is that price can pull back to this level, fail to break this resistance again. I'll be looking for sell opportunity. And oh, what is this? Oh, yeah. So now my rule is that price can what? Pull back to this what? Level, fail to break this resistance again. I'll be looking for what? Sell opportunity. At that time, you will see here that there is this what? Strong sellers here. And then when price pull back again, failing to break, forming what? Pattern. When you combine them, I'll be looking for sell opportunity. Another way that price can present itself for me to sell is that this sell pressure will drop below again. come back to respect the broken what support here, I'll be looking for sell opportunity back to this level. And then the last opportunity that price can present itself, that there will be more sell pressure dropping here, pull back again, dropping here, come back again. I'll be looking for sell opportunity to complete. If price doesn't present itself like this, but rather see buy pressure, break above this resistance again, I'll wait for a pullback. I'll be looking for buy opportunity. With this, I'm done with gold. If you have any question concerning gold, you can bring it on board for us to discuss before I move on to the next pair. You're welcome, Mr. Adamanka. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. So yeah, so our duty or our task for next week is that will price break above this resistance, or will price still be trading below this resistance? That is our duty. That we need to find out whether price will break above or price will be trading below. If price will be trading below, we have what? Two confluence. The first confluence is that price has break below this resistance. The next confluence is that price has break this support. That support was strong because we broke this resistance. Price has break below. We are waiting for the last confluence. And the last confluence can be price pulling back here, drop, or price giving the other possibilities. If price doesn't present itself by breaking above, we'll be looking for what? Buy opportunity. So our next pair is Euro USD. So when I'm done with Euro USD, then I'll move on to BTC USD requested by Nana Operiba. Yeah. So the next pair is Euro USD. So now to continue with Euro USD, let's take the likes to 10K. So I have 48 participants here, and the likes is still what? 5.2K. So let's take the likes to 10K, then I'll continue with Euro USD. Also, if you have not followed my TikTok, follow it so that anytime I come on live, you have the opportunity to meet me. I also have the opportunity to meet you, and then we continue with our discussion. I have my new TikTok account. The link is on my bio. Follow that account, and then when I switch from this account to that account, you have the opportunity to meet me, and then we continue with our discussion. Also, I have my YouTube channel. The link is on my bio. Go to my profile, subscribe to that channel so that when I start to post short videos as to how you can analyze the market, you have the opportunity to see. Also, I post every live analysis on my YouTube channel. I started this week. So if you go to my channel, you can see my YouTube channel, you can see the analysis on last week, BTC USD and then Euro USD. So if you subscribe to it, when I'm done with this analysis, I'm going to post it there. So if you requested any pair, you also have the opportunity to revisit the analysis that I did, and then you can learn from it. So let's take the likes to 10K, and then when we hit 10K, I'll move on to Euro USD. So Euro USD, we are going to start from the weekly time frame. Why? We just ended a week. We need to understand how we ended this week. Then if we do understand how we ended this week, we can add up to the previous week, and then we continue with our discussion to ask ourselves, how is this week ended, and then the previous week is trying to communicate to us. Is it to communicate to us that the buyers are coming in strongly, or the sellers are still taking control? So let's hit the likes to 10K, and then we find out ourselves whether it is communicating to us that the buyers are coming in or the sellers are still taking control. So let's take the likes to 10K. Also, let's share the likes. Let's share the live. Let's share to invite our friends, our families, though that we know that they are interested in learning. They are welcome to join us here and learn for free. So let's hit 10K, and then I'll continue with Euro USD. So 10K likes. I know we can do it. 10K likes. Let's share the life. Let's share to invite our friends. Let's share the likes. Let's also hit 10K likes, 10K likes. Also, if you are new to my TikTok, follow me so that anytime I come on live, you have the opportunity. I also have the opportunity to meet you, and then we'll continue with our discussion. I have my new TikTok account. The link is on my bio. Follow that account so that when I switch from this account to that account, we both will have opportunity to meet each other, and then we continue with our discussion. And then lastly, I have my new YouTube channel. The link is on my bio. If you have not subscribed to that channel, subscribe to it, because every live session will be posted there. So this live, I'm recording it, and then when I'm done, I'll post it straight on my YouTube channel. So if you requested any pair here, or even if you did not request any pair, you have the opportunity to revisit and then learn from the pairs that people requested, and then how we analyze the pair. So now we are at 10K likes. Guys, I thank you all for your support, your time and everything. I've been seeing what you guys are doing for me. I really appreciate. Let's continue with Euro USD. Now, so who requested Euro USD? I think Kujev. Yeah, so the guy who requested Euro USD, whether Kujev, we are going to continue with our Euro USD. Now, this week that we ended, how did we ended Euro USD? This is the this week candlestick. So this week we ended Euro USD with what? With a bullish week. That means that this week it was what? It was a bullish market. Now the question is simple. How is this bullish market with other previous market trying to communicate to us? Now we know the bullish market that we closed this week. Now that understand whether buyers will come in strongly or the sellers, let's find out with what? With the other subsequent what? Or other previous what? Candlesticks or other previous what? Market. Now to add up to other previous market, this is the market that we are going to what? Focus on, and that is the current what? Weekly movement of price, giving explanation as to how monthly is going for what? Its pullback. Now, this is the last monthly resistance of which price has managed to break in weekly, also monthly. But when price broke it in weekly has managed to pull back to it. How? We have this support here which managed to break this monthly resistance as a break. Weekly pull back to it to use it as what? As support. So this support was able to confirm the trend by doing what? By breaking this resistance to form the next resistance above this resistance. What happens? There was a pullback as expected, and that pullback formed the next support, which is what? Also above this support, telling us that the buyers are still what? More than the sellers. So the duty of this support is to continue the trend. How? To break this resistance. This support on its way, it fails to break this resistance by seeing sell pressure here and price is dropping. So this what? Failing breaking of this resistance here has caused this what? Behavior of price to move back to where it started. Now the question is simple. Are we going to see more sell pressure back to this support or there before we see buyers? If price managed to break this support here, that should tell us that the monthly is coming for pullback to its previous what? Broken resistance. Now there is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Will monthly what? Pull back when weekly what? Managed to break this support? Before we can anticipate whether monthly will pull back, we first have to anticipate whether even weekly will pull back to its previous what? Support here. So now, as it stands right now, we have here as what? As this double top here, of which we are expecting this double top, as we know, as reversal, to reverse price for monthly, to do what? To pull back to its previous support, broken resistance. There we can see whether monthly will continue or monthly will not be able to continue when the what? The sellers are what? More what? Than the what? The buyers. So in the weekly time frame, we have here as what? As the support that we are expecting price to pull back to it. And then we have it as what? As the strong support, which is serving as what? Double top. Now, how is weekly heading towards to this what? Previous weekly support? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. How is weekly heading towards what? To its previous what? Support? Or how is weekly pulling back to its previous what? Support? From the weekly perspective, as far as candlestick is concerned, where we are using it to represent price, this weekly pullback was initiated by this what? Strong bullish engulf and rejection candlestick here, followed by what? Bearish engulfing. The next candlestick was bullish, the next candlestick was bearish, the next candlestick was bullish, and then we have what? Two bearish candlestick, and now we are seeing two bullish candlestick. What at all is this what? Bullish rejection, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, and then two bearish, and then three what? Two bullish, trying to what? Explain to us. Are we going to see what? Price in weekly to move in the form of this downtrend to pull back to its previous support, or we are going to see buyers now then what? In the market a strong momentum to push price back to this what? Resistance, before we can anticipate whether price will see sell pressure to drop back to this support, or price will see buy pressure to push back to this resistance. We need to find out how this what? Bullish engulfing followed by bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish, and then bearish explain itself. With this saying, we need to understand this movement of price from the other time frame. If we do understand how the other time frame is explaining this what? Movement, that is when we can anticipate whether sellers will continuously what? Seeing sell pressure to drop price to weekly support, or the buyers will come in right now to push price back to this what? Resistance. Let's consult daily. Now here we are in the daily time frame. How is daily explaining what we saw in the weekly? Daily is explaining to us in the form of what? Downtrend, giving us what? Vivid explanation as to how every candlestick that we saw in a weekly as bullish, bearish, explain itself. Now with this downtrend, let's find out the resistance. We have here as the first resistance as to where we started. And this resistance initiated a pullback. Why? Because price was previously in an uptrend. So we have a support here, resistance here, pullback. This was the last resistance. I was expecting the next resistance above. What happens? The next resistance was below, telling us that we are likely to go in a new trend. A confirmed asset by forming the next resistance also below. Now this brings us to the next resistance, which is this resistance here. Now the next resistance within this downtrend is also below the previous resistance, which is this resistance here. And then the last resistance is this resistance. Now, after that, we need to focus on the support. First resistance formed this support, and then second resistance here formed this support. And then the third resistance was what? The double one top here, which now then this last resistance managed to break to form the next one support here. Now, this is how price is moving. We have this resistance forming this support, price pullback. This resistance forming this support, price formed this double top here, and this last resistance broke this neckline, also this support, to completely what? Form this support. So in daily time frame, we have here, so under weekly resistance and weekly support, here is our last daily what? Support. And then here is our last daily resistance. After seeing the daily resistance and daily support, what is the next movement of price? The next movement of price is to what? Is to pull back. The question is simple. Is this pullback trying to serve as reversal or continuation? I've been telling you guys that there are two types of pullback. Pullback can serve as reversal. Pullback can serve as what? Continuation. There are two behavior of pullback. Pullback can what? Behave in the form of a trend. Pullback can behave in the form of what? Impulse move. From the daily perspective, how is pullback behaving right now? We are seeing pullback in the form of what? An impulse move. What is the meaning of this impulse move? Pullback in what? In a lower time frame. Now we can see that daily has completely pulled back to this what? Resistance. So now this downtrend has completed. We are no more focusing on this what? Continuation. Why? Because price has what? Corrected it completely by using this what? Pullback. We have corrected. So now our focus is to do what? Is to understand how price uses to correct this what? Previous move. If we do understand, that is when we can see that there will be more buyers to break, or we are now then going to continue our new cycle by price also dropping to correct this what? Downtrend. So it's either price correct this downtrend, it's either price correct this uptrend with downtrend, or price will fail to correct this uptrend with downtrend, but rather the buyers will come in and then what? Break. Now, since price has pulled back what? Completely, automatically, there will be a minor pullback or a pullback. That pullback, we need to ask ourselves, is this pullback trying to continue as downtrend to reverse this uptrend, or is just a minor pullback for the buyers to what? Jump in? Now, the first confluence is that we are trading above this support. The second confluence is that we are trading above this support. The third confluence is that price has pulled back completely to this previous resistance. Now, the other confluence that will help us to jump in, we can find out as we move on to what? To lower time frame, to do understand how price managed to break above all this what? Support. So let's find out how price pulled back in 4 hour. So here we are in the 4 hour. Do we see the same movement in what? Daily? No. That means that 4 hour is now then giving us what? The vivid explanation as to how price is what? Is pulling back to its previous what? Daily resistance. Now, this is where I entered what? This week. Price after what? Completing this what? Continuation. There was break above this what? Daily support. And then price pull back to it, forming double bottom with a bullish engulfing close. That is when I come with what? My buy bias to take my profit as to where price is sitting right now. But unfortunately, when price pull back this week here with what? With my spread, took me out as break even, because when price pull back, when price moved to this level, I manage risk by what? Adjusting my stop loss, and then this pullback take me as what? Break even, and price moved to where I was expecting what? Price to go. Now, how did price move to where I was expecting price to go? In an uptrend. How is that uptrend? Let's find out. Now, starting from this support, we have here as the what? As the first 4 hour support. After impulse move with this double bottom, what happened again? The next support was also on the same level as what? Previous broken 4 hours daily support, forming double bottom. And the last support is this support. This is a support, you are right, but this support was able to break this resistance in the form of uptrend. So this is the last support. After knowing last support, what is the next? Is to focus on the resistance. This first support here formed this resistance. Price pulled back as expected by forming this double bottom here. Price broke, the next pull back. So the next resistance is this resistance forming by this double bottom. After that, price also pulled back as expected to form this support. The last resistance was formed because of this support. Price has pulled back here. So price is still in an uptrend. Do we still have to sell? No. Do we still have to buy? Yes. Now we can look for buy opportunity to completely what? Push price back to this resistance. Now, how are we going to what? Buy from this what? Euro USD. Now, we can only buy when price now use this support here as support. How can price use this support as support? It can only use this support as support when price completely pull back to it. So now I have seen that with this candlestick, price in 1 hour is pulling back to this support here in the form of a downtrend. Let's wait for that downtrend to end. Then we'll come in for our confirmation to complete this what? Daily. Then we are out. Then when price pull back to this daily completely, we ask ourselves, what is the next movement of price? Why am I saying we should wait for price to completely pull back to this support, serve it as support? Before price was able to continue the downtrend here, this is how price moved. This resistance formed this support. Price pulled back. This resistance initiated this downtrend, move and then pull back and then drop, double bottom. How did price move? We have a move, we have a pullback. Price has respected this support here, also daily support, as what? Double bottom. So if you extend this support here, price has respected also this support. Now, when price pull back to this support here as what? Support, price respected it as resistance, drop. Now, price has break above it. The question is simple. Are we going to see price using as support? If price managed to pull back to it and then fail to break it, that means that we wait for our last confirmation as buy opportunity to complete, because that support was formed because of this resistance here. So now if this support has formed because of this resistance, that means that if price has used this uptrend to break above it and pull back to it, we are going to buy price back to its resistance where it started. So now where we are going to enter is 1 hour, because 1 hour is pulling back in the form of downtrend. If 1 hour has not ended this downtrend, we don't have to buy. Now let's go to 1 hour. So this is 1 hour time frame. Now 1 hour has formed this what? Double top here, and the price has dropped below, price has pulled back here, price has dropped below. How are we going to enter in 1 hour? I'm expecting 1 hour to push back to this level as resistance, drop below to complete. When price complete, we wait for either patterns here, and when price form pattern, we will not buy. How are we going to buy? We can only buy in 1 hour. When price break above this support, pull back to it. So in 1 hour, we are going to buy when 1 hour complete 4 hour and break above this support again. This is where we are going to jump in with what? With our buy opportunity, and then we'll risk up to this level, and then we'll take our profit as what? As 1:3.6, and then we are done. So this is how we are going to buy in 1 hour. So 1 hour is pulling back to this 4 hour support. This is that support. So 1 hour is pulling back to this support here. So you can see how 1 hour has explained this what movement. 1 hour drop below. So 1 hour drop below. 1 hour pull back to it here. 1 hour respected it as what? Resistance. 1 hour has dropped below, above. 1 hour has break above it. 1 hour is pulling back to it. How? 1 hour is pulling back to it in the form of downtrend. Do we still have to buy? No. That means that we have to wait for this downtrend to completely pull back to this 4 hour support. When 1 hour pull back to this 4 hour support, then we ask ourselves question, how is 1 hour going to respect 4 hour support? Is 1 hour what? Breaking it or reject it? If 1 hour is rejecting it, that means that we are going to buy. This will be 1 hour entry. Around this support, we want 1 hour to break above this support. And when 1 hour break above this support, we ask ourselves, if 1 hour is pulling back to this support, we are not expecting price to break below again. And then we'll look for our buy opportunity here. This is how I want to what? I want price to behave. Also, price can behave something like this. Drop below here, pull back to it, drop below, come back, pull back. When price behaves something like this, then our entry will be here. Then our entry will be here, and then our take profit will be here. But if price doesn't what? Present itself like this, but rather either what? Either double what? Bottom or triple bottom, we'll wait for price to break above, come back, our entry will be here. Why we are going to enter here when price from inverse head and shoulder? Because when price presents itself like that, for example, pull back here, price has managed to break in 1 hour, break below 4 hour support. When price in 1 hour break above 4 hour support and pull back to 4 hour support and fail to break it, that is when your inverse head and shoulder is going to form. That means that price is respecting now 4 hour support as support. We'll be looking for buy opportunity. As simple as that. But if it is not what? Inverse head and shoulder, but rather triple bottom or double bottom, we'll wait for that double bottom to break above, come back for pullback. This is where we are going to buy. As simple as that. Now, if price doesn't present itself like that, but rather drop below here, break above, come back, we are also going to look for what? Buy opportunity. The only time that we are going to look for buy opportunity around this level, around this 4 hour support, is that when price pull back here, reject, break below, come back, break above it, we'll be looking for buy. This is the only what? Setup that price presents itself where we are going to look for what? Buy opportunity here. If not, we are only going to look for a buy opportunity when price break above this support. With this, I'm done with Euro USD. If you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board for us to discuss before we move on to the next pair as BTC. And then after BTC, volatility 75x will be the last pair for the day. Then I'll be done. So we want to complete this daily resistance here. This daily resistance. So we need to what? Wait for more what? Confirmation before we what? We complete daily. With this, I'm done with Euro USD. If you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board for us to talk about it before I move on to the next pair. Someone saying, please, I can't see it well. Really? So, guys, is it okay now? Some people are saying they can't see it well. Is it okay now? So if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't worry, I will upload this what live on my YouTube channel. You have the opportunity to see it again and then what? Learn. So it's the only way that will buy from this 4 hour support is when 1 hour presents itself like this. If 1 hour failed to present itself like this, but rather pulling back here, for example, push back here, break above, come back on it, fail to break it, buy. We are buying here. Or price. Or if price push back here, form double bottom or triple bottom here, we'll wait for that triple bottom to break above, come back, we'll be looking for buy, back to daily. With this, I'm done with Euro USD. If you have any question in mind, You can bring it on board before I move on to BTC USD. And then after BTC USD, if Damien is still here, we'll move on to volatility 75x as the last pair for the day. So the next pair is BTC USD. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, then after BTC USD, we'll move on to volatility 75x as the last pair for the day, and then we'll call it the evening show. And tomorrow 7 p.m. Germany time, I'll come back again, and then we'll continue with our analysis. So we are going to continue with BTC USD. So Nana requested BTC USD. So Nana, if you are still here, then you have to watch it because I'm going to start with BTC USD. Now, to start with BTC USD, we are going to start from the weekly time frame. BTC USD, the weekly time frame has not ended yet. Why? Because BTC, we start from Sunday and then we end Sunday. But the forex pairs is Sunday to Friday. So now, how is weekly from the weekly perspective? Sorry, how is BTC from the weekly perspective? Explain itself. Now, BTC monthly is going for pullback. Let's go to monthly. Now this is monthly time frame. This is how monthly is moving. Now we can see that monthly is is in a strong uptrend. How is that uptrend? Let's find out. Starting from this support, from this resistance, price pullback. From this resistance, price pullback. From this resistance, price pullback. In monthly time frame, we have here as the last support in monthly. Where? Here. So this is our last monthly support. And do we have last monthly resistance? Yes. Why? That last monthly support has formed resistance, which is this year. And then now, price is pulling back. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is simple. And that question is that, are we going to see complete monthly pullback, or we are going to see just a small pullback for price to continue the uptrend? We can see here that around this level, the buyers was more than sellers. So this was the minor pullback, price continue. We can also see here that there was more buyers than sellers, minor pullback, price continue. But now, price has has seen more sell pressure, which is likely to drop price completely. Now the question is simple. Are we going to drop price completely, or we are going to continue the cycle when buyers come in around this level and continue? Before we can confirm our anticipation whether we are going to see more sell pressure back to this monthly support, or we are going to see more buy pressure around this level to come in, we need to understand how weekly is explaining how monthly is pulling back. Now, how is weekly explaining this movement of price, and currently how monthly is weekly is explaining this pullback? That is when we can anticipate whether there will be more sell pressure back, or there will be more buyers to come in and then push price. Now, from the monthly perspective, we can see here that for monthly to form resistance and support, it was initiated by this strong bullish monthly engulfing, followed by a strong bullish candlestick. Now, at point in time, the buyers were losing momentum because this candlestick compared to the previous, we can see that this is higher than this. And the next candlestick was bullish, and then after that, price consolidated around this level by forming bullish, bearish, and then last week we closed with bearish indecision. And this week we have closed with with this candlestick in weekly. That should tell us that the sellers are in, not the buyers. If this candlestick was supposed to be green like this, then we will know that the buyers are in. We will look for more buy opportunity. But this candlestick close here telling us that the sellers are more than buyers. Look for sell opportunity than buyers. Depend on the time frame that is going for pullback. That is when you look for buy opportunity. But my possible advice is to look for more sell opportunity. How is price explaining this behavior from the weekly perspective? Let's move on to weekly. Now, weekly is telling us that for monthly to break this monthly resistance here, it was initiated by double bottom. But in monthly, we saw it as bullish engulfing. Now, this is the double bottom which ended this previous pullback. Price moved impulsively, telling us that the buyers are strong. Corrected. This is weekly correction. Price moved impulsively. The sellers came in to correct. Price on its way, it has seen sell pressure, and price is pulling back. Now, the weekly time frame, price has managed to break last weekly support here. If price has managed to break this last weekly support, that means that the sellers are more than what? The buyers. But in lower time frame, if price managing to break this weekly support here, we are going to see lower time frame minor pullback, and then price will continue to see sell pressure. Question is simple. How did the weekly manage to break this last weekly support? Now in weekly time frame, price used this strong bearish what? Engulfing candlesticks here, or strong this what? Bearish candlesticks. Now to move on to daily, we are going to understand how this strong bearish candlestick explaining itself. That is when we will anticipate that daily will come for minor pullback to respect weekly support, and then we'll look for sell opportunity, or the sellers are so strong enough that there will not be what? Minor pullback, but rather there will be more sell pressure to continuously what? Drop price to what? To this support. So now we have here as what? As the broken what? Weekly support. Let's go to what? Daily to understand. To understand daily, only this portion of price. So now daily is what? Explaining that in the form of what? Downtrend. So now how is daily explaining downtrend? Let's find out. So we have this resistance which formed this support, price pullback, form this support. So this is the last daily resistance which has managed to do what? To break daily support, also what? Weekly support. A strong movement of price, as I explained in what? In weekly. If price has managed to break, price can't move straight like that. Automatically there will be minor pullback to respect weekly broken resistance as support. We drop. So now in daily time frame we have here, so let me delay this one. In daily time frame we have here as what? As the daily what? Last resistance here, and then we have what? Broken daily what? Support. We don't have support that has formed because of this resistance. Price is now in what? In a process to form the support. As to when and where price is going to form its support, we don't know. So to go to 4 hour, we need to understand also in daily time frame how this strong bearish engulfing explain itself. Why? If we do understand, that is when we can what? Likely to what? To anticipate that price will see minor pullback here and then we drop. So daily must go for pullback before what? Price in weekly to continue. But daily pullback, we are anticipating that pullback to respect what? To respect broken for weekly what? Support as another resistance to drop price. I want to go to what? 4 hour to understand this whole trend. I don't want to go to 4 hour where I'll adjust what? This support. That is why I will delete. So I will delay this and I will focus here in 4 hour. So this is 4 hour time frame. How is 4 hour explaining that? 4 hour is explaining that in the form of what? Downtrend. Now 4 hour has not pulled back to this what? Daily what? Broken support. Also weekly, but 1 hour has pulled back to it. How did I know? Because there was this strong bearish candlestick followed by this one bullish. This one bullish will be a turning point in 1 hour, telling us that 1 hour has respected it and the price is dropping. So this 1 hour pullback here, how did 1 hour form a continuation pattern around this area? 1 hour form double top here and then price drop. So now price in 4 hour must pull back to it. As to how price is going to initiate it pullback in what? In 4 hour, we don't know. We need to consult 1 hour. So let's consult 1 hour around this what? 4 hour resistance here, and then now this what? Support here. That is when we can anticipate that there will be what? 4 hour pullback before price continue or before price break above that one support. So let's understand what? Price in what? In 1 hour time frame where price form this double top in 1 hour, and then we do understand. Let's go to 1 hour. So this is 1 hour. As I explained in what? 4 hour that there was this what? Double top in 1 hour, which price in 1 hour used to respect what? Broken daily and weekly support. So now in 1 hour time frame, this is how price moved. So price after breaking below, there was a pullback, 1 hour double top here. Price has dropped, price has pulled back, price has dropped. In 1 hour, where is our last support? In 1 hour, we have here as the last support. This support was formed because of what? This resistance. We have here as the last resistance. Price is still in a downtrend in 1 hour. Do you still have to buy? No. Do you still have to sell? No. Why? Because price in 1 hour is pulling back to this what? 1 hour resistance in the form of what? Uptrend. We have to wait for 1 hour to pull back to this resistance. When 1 hour pull back to this resistance, then we ask ourselves, are we going to see more sell pressure? If yes, we are looking for more sell pressure. Now bear in mind that price must go for pullback in 4 hour and what? And daily. And then now in 1 hour, price has managed to break below this what? 1 hour support. That means that if 1 hour sees sell pressure and pull back to this support and fail to break it, that is when we are going to look for buy opportunity to complete this daily. Why are we going to look for buy opportunity here if price failed to break it? Because the downtrend that price is in 1 hour, this resistance formed this support. This double top here formed this support. This is the last support. That price broke after this support. Price has not been able to break any support in this downtrend. Using this resistance to break below, price has break above, but price has not respected this support as support. So if price does pull back to this support and fail to break below this support, we are going to look for what? 1 hour quick entry as 1:3 around this support, and then we what? Risk below this what? Support here, and then our entry and then take profit will be what? 1:3. Because we are trying to what? Trade pullback. If you are trading pullback, don't be in longer, because you don't know when the sellers will come in to what? Push price. So how we are going to trade is that I'm expecting 1 hour to pull back to this 1 hour support. If 1 hour failed to break it, that is when we will look for what? Buy opportunity. But if 1 hour managed to break it, then sellers are still in what? In control. Then we have to wait for our sell opportunity. Also, if you don't want to engage yourself in this pullback, that means that you have to wait patiently for 4 hour and also 1 hour to continuously see buy pressure and then pull back to this resistance here. And then when price pull back to this resistance here, also support in daily and then weekly, then we look for a sell opportunity and then drop. So it is 2 possible ways that we can jump in. So it's either you are trading what? Pullback, or you are waiting patiently for price to push back to this resistance here, also support. Then we look for what? Our sell opportunity to continue, or our buy opportunity to continue. With this, I'm done with what? BTC USD. So the whole what? Current situation of BTC USD, that price must go for pullback to respect what? Daily and 4 hour. This is that what? Level that I'm expecting price to pull back to it. But how price is going to pull back? I've seen that there is this impulse move. Price has pulled back here, there, that. So price can also use this movement, break below, come back here. I can look for buy opportunity to complete. Also, price can see sell pressure, come back to. Price can also see sell pressure, come back to this level. I can look for buy opportunity to complete. So these are the possible ways that price can present itself within this pullback for us to enjoy this pullback. If you don't want to engage yourself in this pullback, wait patiently for price to pull back to this resistance. Then you ask yourself, are you going to break? Are you going to reject? If you are going to break, depend on how price pull back to that level. If you are going to reject, depend on how price pull back. With this, I'm done with BTC USD. If you have any question in mind concerning BTC USD, you can bring it on board for us to discuss before I move on to the last pair, which is volatility 75. So derive trading view. So volatility 75. So here, so if you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board before I start with volatility 75. Okay, so J.M is asking me whether I'm predicting BTC USD reach 88 or 77 zone. Okay, so now BTC USD, let me switch. Yeah, so BTC USD, if price will pull back, I'm expecting price to pull back to this one, this support. Yeah, so around in between, let's say 99.6 and 99.1. So in between that price level, I'm expecting price to pull back and reject. Why? Because that level is what? Is the broken weekly support. So it's that broken weekly support that I'm expecting price to respect it. So now if price pull back there, then I'll ask myself, are we going to see more sell pressure, or now price is going to what? Gather more buyers to break above. If if price will break above, it depends on how price is going to pull back to it. The behavior that price is going to pull back to it, or the price action that price is going to pull back to it. Now, if price is going to reject in between this price level, it also depends on how price is going to pull back. So now price must go for pullback, but as to when, how, we don't know. So that is why we are waiting patiently to see how price is going to pull back to it. Someone saying, can board. If you look daily time frame, you see the zone. Yeah, you see the zone. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I said that price in 4 hours must go for pullback for daily to go for pullback. Yeah, it's also daily support. Yeah, so now daily has broke below. There must be a pullback for buyers, for sellers to continue. If price to continue in that manner. So if we were here, I remember one of my analysis. I said that the one that I've uploaded on my YouTube channel, I said that price will pull back to this support. So now price has managed to pull back to this support. So I said that I'll be looking for more sell opportunity back to this support. If you were here, one of the days I analyzed BTC USD to anticipate price to pull back to this support. Then when price pull back to this support, price move to this support, we wait for a pullback and then we continue. That time I was expecting price. I said that this bearish candlestick here confirm that the sellers will come in strongly. So I said that this is how price can move. 4 hour can pull back a little bit here and then price drop. Also, 1 hour can decide not to allow price in 4 hours to pull back, but rather 1 hour will see sell pressure, break below, come back, we'll look for 1 hour entry back here. So I was anticipating price to pull back to this support. Price has behave as such. The next movement is for price to pull back. Now it's up to you to decide whether you will engage yourself in this pullback or not. So now this pullback, price has not initiated yet. Why? Price is still in a downtrend. Why? Price has not been able to break the last resistance within 1 hour. That means that price is still in a downtrend. Wait patiently. Yeah. So now with this, if you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board for us to talk about it before I move on to Volatility 75. So Stephen is saying, can you go over BTC? Because I don't get it. So Stephen, follow my subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then when you subscribe to it, after this live, I'll upload the live session there. You can also learn it from that live on my YouTube channel, because I have less time to stay here. So Stephen, sorry for that, I can't go back. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is on my bio. Go to my profile, subscribe to it, so that after this live, right away I'll upload it on my YouTube channel. Then you can go there and then you see how I analyze them every pair in it higher time frame to the lower time frame. So Stephen, I have less time to stay here. Sorry for that. And then you can also come back again tomorrow 7 p.m. Germany time. I'll be also live here, and then you can also request for BTC USD. Yeah. So now I'm going to continue with Volatility 75 as the last pair for the day. Now, how is Volatility 75 explaining itself? So Damian, if you are still here, price is is in a downtrend. Now, how is that downtrend? Let's find out. So this is the downtrend that price is in. So we have this resistance, form this support, price pull back, price drop, price pull back, price drop again, price pull back, price drop, price pull back, price drop. Now, this is the last support that price broke here. So this is the last support here that price broke, and that support, where is the resistance here? That means that we're expecting price to to continuously see sell pressure after breaking, and then pull back to it before price continue. What happens? Price was not able to break completely, but rather after breaking, forming this double bottom, and price has initiated pullback. Now let's wait patiently, Damian, for price to completely see buy pressure to pull back to this resistance. Now when price pull back to this resistance, we ask ourselves, what is the next movement of price? Now, how is price pulling back to this resistance? In the form of uptrend. So this is that uptrend. So this is just a pullback that price is using to respect this resistance. Now when price pull back to this resistance, we ask ourselves, are we going to drop or we are going to break it? Now let's find out within this pullback whether price will be able to completely see buy pressure, even to complete this resistance. Now, to understand this what pullback, which is an uptrend, where is our last support? Within that pullback, we also have here as what? As the last support, which has also formed this what? This inner last resistance here. And then when price pull back to it, price has failed to break it. The question is simple. Are we going to see sell pressure drop here, or we are going to see more buy pressure to completely what? Pull back to this resistance? So damn here, within this uptrend, that price is pulling back. Price is right now sitting what? At previous what? Resistance. And then the question that we need to ask ourselves, price must continue the uptrend as pullback if it will do so. So let's find out how price is what? Behaving between this what? Resistance and this support in what? In daily. That is when we can anticipate whether there will be more sell pressure back to this support, or there will be more buyers to completely what? Push price to this resistance. Let's find out in 4-hour time frame. So this is 4-hour time frame. Now, between daily resistance and daily support, how is 4-hour moving? Let's find out. Now, 4-hour is telling us that price move within this uptrend. Price pull back to the last support within that uptrend. There was also double bottom. After this double bottom, what has happened? Price to pull back to this resistance. Price was also moving what? In the form of uptrend. Within this uptrend, where is our last support? This is our last support. Price is pulling back to it. So Damien, if the market or if price will completely see buy pressure, I'm expecting this downtrend to complete. Pull back here, I'll be looking for buy to complete. So this is how I'll be looking for my buy opportunity. So if price complete this pullback in the form of downtrend but fail to break this support, I'll be looking for what? My buy opportunity. Now, if I'll be looking for sell opportunity, I want this downtrend to break below this last support, come back for pullback. That is when I'll be looking for my sell opportunity back. So it's either I'm buying from this support here when price presents itself, or price will drop below this support here, pull back to it, and then I'm selling below this support. So these are the two ways that price can present itself on volatility 75 1x for me to what? Jump in. So it's either price will complete this last support with this downtrend and price will change this downtrend, then I'll look for buy opportunity, or this downtrend will see more sell pressure, break below, and then I'll look for what? Pull back, then I'll look for my sell opportunity to complete. So Damien, these are the ways that price can present itself for us to either buy or sell in volatility 71x. With this, I'm done for the day. So guys, I thank you all for your support, your time, and everything. I've been telling you guys that the precious thing in life is time. Don't joke with your time. If you're joking with your time, joke to exchange for good information. Don't just joke with your time by what? Exchanging with what? With for nothing. Because if you want to go to school, you are exchanging your time to be knowledgeable. You are not just exchanging your time to get what? Something that is not useful. You are exchanging your time to get something that is useful. Then, if someone is spending his or her time or his or her precious units to listen to you, you have to do value the person. Guys, I do value everyone here. I appreciate your support and everything. With this, I'm going to end my live here, and then tomorrow 7 p.m. Germany time, I'll be back here again. And then if you have any what question or any pair, we can still continue with what? Analyzing that pair. Lastly, if you have not followed my TikTok, follow it so that anytime I come online, you have the opportunity. I'll also have the opportunity to meet each other, and then we continue for our discussion. And then if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it, because this live, I'm going to upload it there. You can go back and then follow how I analyze every pair, and then you can learn for it for free. With this, we meet each other again 7 p.m. Germany time tomorrow. Peace out. Like 2 hours. Name me out. You have to pay.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't have the money. Huh? Shampoo. Huh? Was? Because I have to pay the iPhone. So what I've been paying this month. Niska. I don't like going outside the country if I don't have money. You don't know what's going to happen. Nine.
Hey, if you, I saw it.
You make me carry all the stuff here.
If you assume it's you,
Yeah, Miss Machiam.
and I'm a young one from the team, young. If he not enough, the other in a yummy. Yeah.
Cocoa, man, to me, any day. My dream should go. Yeah, it's 9. In Castle Casamu. When did I tell you 7 Casamu? Yeah!
What's happening? Yeah.
That's it.